Hey everybody, welcome back to our Only Cans.
What?
Well, I'm not wearing anything weird this week, so I had to do something.
Stand up and prove it.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I'm not wearing anything funky.
This is a podcast where you have to pay for Evan to keep his clothes on.
Oh, look at that. The donations are piling in.
I'm surprised we're still broke, really, let's be honest.
We're up
Welcome back to Before the
20,000
Game.
already.
And I think we got an all right episode for you this week. I don't know. These
Probably
two seem
not.
really
We're-
optimistic that we do, so I mean, why not?
Super
Why
prepared.
would we start now?
We can start now. I'm good with that.
Oh, we're gonna go already?
Why not?
No picking.
Oh, I just
no
meant starting.
visors tonight. No.
No.
We're good.
Yeah, just keeping the clothes. It's just a button down and jeans, man. I mean,
Right
I'm
on.
not going to prove the jeans, but
Well, we're not starting off strong because we're gonna start talking about Stuart Haas racing.
fair enough.
So, rumors have been swirling now for a few weeks about a potential sale of 2 charters. Given the evidence, there is at least some credibility to the rumors. So, the question here is if you're choosing charters to move, that means you're downsizing your team and having to decide who you're keeping and who is moving on. If you are the deciding person, who is doing what at SHR? What are you doing, Evan?
I think for me, I am keeping Gregson with the crew chief he's got. They seem to be doing really well. And I think I'm taking Chase Briscoe and I'm bringing Rodney Childers over to that car and seeing if we can't find a way to help Chase Briscoe live up to his potential. I think those two are the guys that are performing right now. I mean, obviously they've got more experience in the Cup car than, well, actually, I guess not more than Ryan, but more than Josh. Ryan hasn't really been showing much in the way of speed at all.
Ryan
Not
Preece
even
and
like,
Josh Berry? That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about? Okay.
like not even comparable speed, I don't think. And Josh actually has a fair amount of experience in comparison to like a regular rookie in the sense that he filled in for Chase Elliott and every other Chevrolet driver that was out last year. So that's probably what I'm doing. I'm moving those two guys and putting them together and keeping Gregson and Drew Blickensturfer together.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm probably putting Chase Briscoe, keep him in the 14 car, and I'd probably move Gregson to the 4 car. I don't know, like as far as, Gregson's still young. He's not really sold out to the 10 car as far as advertising and all that. Like, it's not marked to it. I think you keep the 4 car. You got more history with that. I'd hate to see that car just drop off and go nowhere. So, I mean, honestly, I'd rather see Briscoe go to the 4 car, but at this point in his career, like he's already been in the 14. 14 was Smoke's number. So, I mean, still, got the, it was Smoke's, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then Boyer. So, I mean, it's held its own in drivers there too. So, but yeah, I like the idea of Childers being crew chief. So,
yeah, if he wants to keep doing it, I mean, that's a factor too, I suppose. But
yeah,
I hadn't even considered
No.
as far as like car numbers. I hadn't even thought of that.
yeah. I mean, like the 10's been Almirola, who I like, but I mean, he never set the world on fire in it. And then before that, it's Danica. So, I mean,
Who did set the world
Your
on
favorite
fire? Well,
driver.
at least the
yeah,
car.
exactly.
Donnie's been a fan of Danica ever since, she wrote on there about Truex.
I've never liked Danica. That's for a different
This is a
podcast.
family-friendly podcast, Donnie. You need to hold back on the thought process here.
So, what are the rumors? Is there actually is this just
Well, they kind of started going last year a little bit, and then they kind of, quelched the rumors a little bit, and then this year they have flared right back up. And there's been some people that have actually said, there's people looking to buy the charters and stuff. I think the problem with selling charters right now is with no TV deal and they got a TV deal in place, but with no charter agreement in place yet. You don't know if they're going to be permanent charters, which is what the teams want, or how long the charter deal is going to last. So the value is kind of iffy right now, kind of up in the air. But if it's anything like the last few years, we've been seeing them go for upwards of, I think Spire bought the last one at $40 million for a charter, which is a mind-boggling number that, that wouldn't necessarily hurt SHR to do that as far as, have the money. But I also don't think with a billionaire owner in Gene Haas, I don't really know that they necessarily need the $80 million. But you got to do something there.
I mean,
to
it
make
needs
that
something
team
to
work.
put in the program.
Right. It's I don't know if you just need
And
someone that's focused on the program maybe or what, but it's been a tough couple years for SHR.
It has for sure. And I mean, like right now, I said Briscoe, like that's a lock. Like there's no way you build this program without him. Like they'd be crazy to let him go. And Gregson just kind of seems to be the only one really performing outside of the other three. But I mean, if Josh Berry lights it up, the second half here, or Ryan Priest does, then, I think Noah could be in the hot seat of losing his ride. Like he's got to keep this going. And I think that second seat would really go to whoever finishes the year best.
Don't say that. I'm pretty sure Noah's Evan's second favorite driver now. So.
I've been to be fair, I paid more attention. I paid more attention to Xfinity in years past than I have lately. And Gregson was just a super impressive talent. It was basically him and Gibbs, and those were the two guys. And I think the more that Gregson gets a handle on this car, like if you look at his results last year to this year, everyone talked about how horrible he was, but like Legacy hasn't improved, like maybe a little bit, but they're still running back in the pack. So, you look at him and it's easy to say, oh, he's the most improved driver. Well, he's gone from garbage equipment to mediocre equipment, which helps a lot. But I think now we're actually seeing the driver that he's capable of being. And I think if that program keeps improving, the Ford program as a whole, I'll add, I think that's only a good thing. I think he was the top finisher for Ford yesterday, was he not? Did he not finish 6th and Blaney 7th or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So, that's, and backed up a third place finish last week at Talladega, where he was only bested in the Fords by Brad. And I mean, it's Talladega. If you're going to be bested by somebody, it's probably Brad or Joey, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah.
So I just think he's really putting together some really solid races, and I think he's starting to show his potential that I felt he had when he came up to Cup Series. Even if I wasn't impressed with the ride that he had offered to him or available to him, I thought he had the potential to get the most out of it. And right now, I would say that he is getting the most out of the equipment at SHR. I think he's outperforming Briscoe. Especially if you look past the penalty that they got at the first year, I think he's outperforming Briscoe right now. I haven't checked the stats to verify if they back it up, but I find in running order, he's typically ahead of them.
Yeah, Briscoe's 12th in points. So, I mean, he's not having a bad year. I can't imagine Gregson, even without the penalty there.
No, but he's like the last few races, I think he's doing better. Like he started off a little slower than he has now, but
yeah, but I mean, any dummy can go on, a little 4-win skid and think he's something.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I wouldn't make too much of it right now.
I sense some jealousy going on here, but so
this wow, I missed that.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Got to put that visor on, try and catch those jokes before they go over your head.
So not on the nose, but if Stuart Haas is selling, who's buying? I mean, come to mind 2311 is pretty much the only one I could see. And are they going to want to buy two? Or
I could see Trackhouse.
Trackhouse? They got 3 now?
They got 2.
They got 2.
Are they funding the Spire one or something? They put
some kind of weird thing.
They put Zane Smith in Spire's car, but they need one because they got SVG coming up and they've got Zane Smith. Right? Like they need one for them. And then like the reality is if Honda or another manufacturer is coming into the sport, there's going to be some big money put into a team that's back there somewhere. Right? Like I don't know. I don't know who that team is going to be that steps over there, but you've got some pretty decently performing mid-tier teams right now that you could.
I think RCR should, but I doubt they'll ever leave Chevrolet.
I doubt they ever will, but I'm not opposed to that thought. I wouldn't be surprised to see it be SHR. But I think Spire's probably the front runner because they got Gamebridge money right now, which is closely associated with Michael Andretti, who's been rumored to wanting to get in the Cup Series, and they run Honda in IndyCar. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. He's also got ties with Cadillac in that Formula One attempt, I guess, too. But not that I think Cadillac's coming, but that's a GM brand, right? So it'll be interesting to
You
see.
ever see RFK?
What's that?
RFK going 3? Do you ever see that?
I doubt it because Roush is so tied up with Ford, and I think Brad's got a great relationship with Ford. But I could see like a front row maybe jumping ship from Ford. But I think
sorry.
Sorry,
I meant charters. RFK picking up a third charter.
maybe.
I know they're not leaving Ford.
No, they're getting a lot more staunch there too, right? And as much as the Wood Brothers is a fourth Penske car in many ways, it wouldn't count against their total. Like they could still have another charter too. Back-to-back champions. I think you just need to get rid of Cindric and put someone in that 3 car or that 3rd car before you worry about a 4th one, but that's a whole nother ball game. So I think there's definitely teams out there that are looking to buy it's just really, what are they buying is I think a big question, and how much is it worth? And I think that's so much up in the air because of the charter deal that just hasn't been reached yet.
All right. Well, before we put all our listeners to sleep, let's move on to Dover. Dover provided some great racing this weekend, supposedly. While there wasn't an abundance of wrecks or anything that people tend to associate with the drama of a race, there was a lot of different lanes to race in. We had great battles for the lead throughout the day, and we had some pit strategy that really helped some teams run really well. What was your standout moment of the day? Donnie, you got one?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. being Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Man, you jinxed him right from the start.
I mean, I jinxed myself.
Ricky Stenhouse.
Right? Ricky spin twice. That's what stands out to me is like he won Daytona last year, and it's like he shows flashes of brilliance, but the guy can't be happy with the 10th place car. He's got to try and, rewrite the book to get it to 9th place, and he costs himself the race every time he does it. It's just stupid mistakes all the time, and I'm just live and learn. Keep him off your pick.
Actually, so this is going to lead a little bit into my standout for the day, just because it bothered me, and then today I found out some more information. But last night, as the race ended, Clint Boyer was talking about that 4-car wreck or whatever at the end of the field or at the end of the race, where it said it took out some really competitive cars that were having great runs from the mid pack, and he mentioned Ricky Stenhouse, and I was like, Ricky Stenhouse was not involved in that multi-car wreck. He spun all by himself, basically. Well, I guess he came up into Josh Berry, but it was his own incident. And then today I was reading on Twitter, and I didn't understand yesterday after that pit cycle where Hamlin and Larson were on the outside of Bowman and Bowman was in the middle and Bowman backs out and whatever. And they played some audio after that. And I was like, man, that doesn't sound right, because he was mouthing about Larson, when to me it looked like Hamlin would have been the one that would be upset at, since he was the third one in.
It would look like that to you.
No, but he was the third one in, right? Like, it made sense to me that he would be the one you'd be more upset with instead of Larson. Come to find out, the audio they played had nothing to do with the pit cycle at all. And it was to do with how they were racing at the end of the stage with Bowman and Larson. And regardless of your thoughts on whether Bowman should have been upset with how Kyle Larson was racing,
he's a hack.
I think it was just a frustrating moment or whatever, and he got on the radio and whatever. But it made no sense in that moment to play that audio, and it seemed so out of character, and not even necessarily out of character. It just didn't make sense in the moment as to how it pertained.
Yeah, Hendrick whining's not out of character for any of those 4 boys.
But it just leads me all the more to Fox has got to get their stuff together. It is the most annoying presentation of any sporting event that I have ever watched in my life.
Here's the first thing. Learn Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. Like, like figure their names out first of all.
How did we not?
Larson passing when he's not even near the leader. And then you got, oh man, it was it's a dumpster fire.
And last week they blamed Bowman for a wreck that happened 10 cars behind him.
Yeah.
And they tried to do it again this week. And then how in the world do they not show footage? It's not like the restart is a surprise. You know
they know it's coming. Yeah.
And they did not show
the only one shocked.
Right. And how do you not show that restart?
Like, they almost missed another one later. Like, I don't know if it was the last one. It was
the fans in the stand that are excited, but the restart is a critical component, especially since that one, everybody looked at it in our group anyway. Everyone was like, man, Denny got a pretty good jump again. And I was definitely questioning the legitimacy of it until later in the race when we saw him get another really quick restart. And I was like, all right, Denny's really fast on restarts today.
Yeah.
But how do you not show the restart? It's like one of the most critical.
Because they just think we want to see that 450-pound woman with her Kyle Busch shirt on screaming. like, yeah, that's what the fans want to see right there. Big Bertha in the stands.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate that they're there, and it's great to show their faces and some of the families and stuff. It's great, but not.
It is. I mean, she bought her 3 tickets to sit in those seats, so like, I don't want to go after the fans, but
you don't, because it sure seems like you do. I think there's times for it. Like, I don't even like showing them when we're coming back to the action after an ad break. I want to see the racing. I don't want to see Kevin's happy hour promo. What are we doing? Like spending 3 laps.
And it's always
20 seconds
like,
a lap.
Like that's it. And it's always like right before the end of a stage or like 15 laps to go in the race. And then we're going to do like some stupid interview and like advertisement placement.
What blows my mind too is like you're starting the race. Everyone's pumped up to watch it. And within 10 to 15 laps, they're going to a commercial already. Like, can't you hold off at least 30 laps at the start of the race so people actually get like into it? Like, it just
we hear them sing their anthem and say a prayer that's all out of tune and like
wait, how in tune is a prayer supposed to be?
I mean, like definitely ain't in tune with the spirit, I'll tell you that.
Heavenly Father.
Man, it's just, and like, we got to watch all that, like 40 minutes straight of that basically, and then the race starts and it's let's do commercials.
Right.
And I understand it's a race, but like you can't just turn the cars off. But what other sport do you leave live action and go to a commercial? Besides golf comes to mind, but I mean, you show the replay as soon as you're back. Like, you don't always see it live, but you still see every shot that they want to show you. And it's just like, I can't think of another sport. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but nothing comes to mind.
Not at critical moments anyway.
No, exactly.
And I get that NASCAR is not like other sports where we don't have natural breaks in the action. Like, we don't have whistles and things like that. And I can appreciate that fact. But I mean, what are we doing?
But there's gonna be cautions. There's already like 2. Like, I mean, how much money do they need to make to? I don't get it. But
I mean, quite a bit probably.
I know, but like other sports don't have as many commercials as NASCAR. Like, they just don't. Like,
honestly, I don't understand why we don't just sell all the ads side by side. You know what I mean? As much as like I don't even love those ads.
Like, this race is ad free, brought to you by Wendy's. Because like it's like Wendy's, like
I'd order a
95% of the time, or like
as you say, Whopper.
Like, you should be able to order like DoorDash or something like off the screen. Like, if you order your meal, then you don't get commercials.
Ooh, a subscription service, that'd be nice. I hope that's what Prime is like when it comes. Like, you can pay the extra $3 a month. Sign me up, baby. I'll pay 10. Actually,
definitely frustrating. I know
it would probably be crazy how much extra I would pay for a subscription service where there was no ads in NASCAR.
And why can't they do that? Still show it on Fox for people who don't want to pay, but give the option to like pay an extra $10 a month or something. Like, it's just,
I don't even need commentary. Just show me the laps with the scoring pylon. Yeah,
but
can't even do that this year.
No, they cost too much money.
I meant the one that's on the screen, but I get it.
I get it. Yeah. Anyways,
Talladega is a small track, doesn't bring in a lot of revenue, so
I'm going to be honest. I didn't think that second topic was going to go that go that hard.
So as the race was winding down, we had a phenomenal battle between Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin once again. These two drivers had multiple races over the past few years where they were battling for the lead. If we look at Kansas and Pocono last year and then at yesterday, it seems that in these races, Hamlin seems to hold his own and often gets the advantage in Larson. Whereas with most other drivers, Larson tends to come out on top. What do you think the difference is here?
I wrote that topic just so
Talent.
you had to read it.
I know why you wrote it. But there's no passing with this car. That's my opinion. Like, who's ever out in front?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can
I
pass
just think
everyone
Denny's
else.
got Kyle's number though too.
Has he passed everyone else though, or has Larson just been out front at those critical times as well? Like,
Maybe.
I
I
mean,
actually think Larson had an interesting take yesterday when he said that NASCAR needs to get rid of the rear view cameras in the car.
yeah, that was.
I don't necessarily think that would be a bad thing. I actually think he's right. I think that from a fan perspective, I don't enjoy the defensive driving nearly as much as I enjoy the chase them down and pass them, like the offensive.
Yeah.
So McDowell had a camera last week and still did that.
Yeah, apparently. No, I think you can opt to have the camera or not. I don't think you have to have it. Some drivers still don't like it. Typically, the older ones, but I do think Kyle might actually be onto something there.
Like, Denny's a great driver. Like, I think between Denny and Larson, they're the two greatest drivers in the sport right now. I mean, yes, William Byron's there. I just can't like Byron. I don't know why. I just can't like the guy. He just is always there. You never see him, and all of a sudden, oh, who won the race? Byron. So I don't know, but
so you think Denny and Larson are better than generational talent Tyler Reddick?
I do.
Me?
Yes.
No, I'm asking. I was asking Corey.
But I believe they're the two top drivers, and obviously they're going to have their battles. And to me, Larson, I don't think he's going to race Denny as hard as Denny races him. I don't know. Maybe he will. He should. But I think that's in the back of his mind of his, hey, if I get too close, Denny's just going to dump me or something like that. So, I mean, like, I think he's in his head a little bit in all reality.
Well, I will say every time he gets close, he does get snake bitten.
Exactly. It's like something happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Hamlin does drive just that extra hair dirty.
And good on him. He gets away with it. So, I mean, like,
I mean,
like, I don't blame the guy.
I just wish he would admit it. Like,
yeah,
instead of
own it. Like, just own it. Be like,
he has been a little bit more lately than he used to, but like used to be like, no, we didn't even have contact. Like, what was that last year poking out? Like, we never touched.
Because he's got Larson on his hood.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. We can see it. You know, I know it's broadcast on Fox, but they do show some stuff.
Yeah, in Denny's defense, he probably thought, "Oh, this is a Fox race. No way they saw me do that."
He saw the microphone with like the band around it. I'm good here. I'm good.
But in yesterday's case, I don't know. I think they both had great cars, but Denny just was out front, and like Kyle Busch was complaining about aero blocking. There was no getting around him when he was out front. So
I will say too, I think
if Larson would have been in that position, Denny would have came in second. Like, I don't think there's any way around either driver. So I don't know.
Well, I think the other thing too is like Larson probably, I don't know. Denny had such a huge lead. It kind of makes me wonder if Larson wasn't trying to save a bit or what. But once Denny had that clean air, man, he was flying.
Yeah,
like,
but that happened before. I think the caution before that too, that Larson caught back up when Denny got in traffic. So I don't know. But
traffic helps a lot, but
yeah,
I didn't find the traffic really fought Denny a whole lot at that last stage either. But anyway,
you guys spoke of contact. How about Martin Truex getting into Alex Bowman there? That one of those last.
Like, somebody show Bowman where the stinking gas pedal is. Like,
I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit.
My goodness. Like, did the guy forget he's in a race car? Like, oh, just let me coast here at 30 miles per hour while everyone else is in the throttle. Oh, Truex hit me.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Name any traffic incident where the guy behind runs into somebody and it's the guy in front's fault.
Well, usually Bowman's in 36, so there's nobody to rear end him.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's back there, because he drives slow.
He's got more top fives than anybody on the season, but okay. I mean, it's a tie, but he's still in the lead. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Truex is so washed up, he doesn't know where the restart zone is. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
All those
Neither does any of those Joe Gibbs guys,
no,
I guess.
Man, they all don't. Actually, I can't say Christopher Bell. I haven't seen Christopher Bell near the front on a restart.
He's been wrecked the last like 4 weeks.
And even Ty Gibbs has
argue
done
with
nothing
him on that.
lately. I don't know what happened to Ty Gibbs. He was quick.
But man, Noah Gregson, he's had a good 3 races. He's
okay.
Like
I would
check
rather
the
start off
standings,
slow
we're all
and
right.
build. I would rather start off slow and build fast than have the most top tens at the beginning of consecutive top tens at the beginning of the season and then get nothing throughout the summer. I mean,
Yeah, I'd rather be locked in the playoffs right now, and I'd rather be sitting on playoff spot than have 2 good races. But yeah,
Sure.
that's the difference, I guess.
But we're also comparing Joe Gibbs racing
Talent or
equipment
no talent.
to Stuart Haas racing equipment here. Let's be.
All right. So
Look what you did, Corey. You proud of yourself?
I am actually.
Corey likes to smoke.
I hate Bowman.
Why?
I hate him a little bit after those comments about Larson yesterday, but anyways.
Do you think, honestly?
Well, Larson wasn't going to get out of the guy's way. Like, what's he soaking about? Like, they were both racing for the stage win. Like,
no, sure. But at the same point, like, if you're trying to get by someone, it gets a little frustrating, whatever. You've just started iRacing. You wait. You'll find out. Like, it's not necessarily that you're upset with the guy. You're just upset that you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. Like, it's just competitive nature, right?
I get it.
You know, I have no issue with that. I don't think he actually really wanted to
it's hard seeing greatness in front of you and knowing you just can't get around it. So.
Okay.
So anyways, this marks Hamlin's 3rd win in the season, tying William Byron, who has seemed to be on.
Can I just say one more thing?
Go ahead.
The only time Alex Bowman the only time Bowman has touched greatness was yesterday with his rear bumper. That's when Truex smashed him. So
okay,
I think greatness might have touched him, but anyways,
there you go.
You think what? Greatness might have touched him?
Yeah. All right. So Hamlin's 3rd win of the season, tying William Byron, who seems to be on a downtrend at the moment. I don't know, but that's what Evan thinks. I think everyone had Hamlin marked as a favorite for the playoffs again this year. But do they have the longevity to make it happen this year? If so, what's different as they haven't made the Final 4 since next-gen era began?
I think what's going to be different here.
So were you doing an impersonation of Denny there, Corey?
Choking?
Yeah.
Not on purpose, but
okay. Sorry, Donnie. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I think what's going to happen is Denny's going to win regular season championship. It's going to those 15 extra points, and I think he's going to be able to afford to have a bad race or two, kind of like what Truex did last year, kind of banked on those points. I can see that happening with Hamlin, and I think this is the year that it all clicks so and he gets it done.
But here's the thing for me is so far he hasn't won on a track over a mile, has he? Like I'm pretty because he won Richmond and he won Bristol, and Dover was a mile. So when he wins a mile and a half,
to be fair, it looks good for Phoenix if he gets there. But
fair enough. But he didn't win Phoenix.
But what happens?
But I mean, it's not like he's running 36th place at the other spots either.
No. But I mean, I'd still like to see him run a little better.
But the other question is, what happens if he does win the regular season championship and then he races like Truex in the playoffs too? Right, 9 bad races in the playoffs.
If he runs like Truex, that's all right. If his pit crew does the same thing, well, then yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's my thing with him. I just want to see him win on a,
here's the thing. Buescher went on 3 different tracks last year, like all different, and
right back to back.
Like just because you're winning on different tracks doesn't mean anything really. Like
I get it, but
if you can be dominant where you're dominant, a lot of times that's enough to. Like that's what happened with Blaney. You know what I mean? The guy dominates at Phoenix, and he got to Phoenix and did what he did.
Did Bell win at Phoenix this year?
Bell did.
Yeah.
So
redemption.
is it maybe a difference between Toyota and Chevy right now? Like, is Toyota really good at the miles and under, and Chevy's kind of got the other stuff? Like, they won at Coda. I guess if you don't include Reddick winning last week, I guess that's different.
Which you winning for some reason because you
No,
hate
no,
the
but-
kid.
no,
He's
no, but
overrated.
no,
I mean,
no,
we're not going to count Reddick winning because I mean,
listen, no, hang on. I have no issue saying Reddick is super talented. I just think people talked about him as if he was this generational talent that was going to come in and set the world on fire, and he has not done that.
I've never heard that.
He's good, just not good. You haven't heard that?
No, never hear anyone say Tyler Reddick's going to set the world on fire. Like
Okay.
the kid's good though. Anyway,
I'm not
I guess
saying
we
he's not
run in
good.
different circles.
Like, I'll give you an example. Door Bumper Clear says he's the best driver in the field right now. You like it's not
They say
Freddie.
that?
Oh, not Freddie. Who's
Brad Spotter.
No, not TJ.
Oh, now you put pressure
Oh my
on
goodness. Brett Griffin.
Brett Griffin, yes.
Says it all the time that he thinks Tyler Reddick is probably the best driver in the field. I
Yeah,
don't
but
and I don't see it.
Tyler Reddick's on the show all the time too. So
You think top 5? Really?
Yeah, the kid can wheel,
Top
man. Like
5.
the saves that guy's had to make, like when he gets in trouble, like sometimes on his own,
top
sometimes
5.
when people.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
do.
put him top 5.
can't
Top
give you
10
top
maybe,
5.
but not top 5.
I'll give you top 10. I wouldn't say top 5.
Yeah, well, I go top 5.
So who's he better than? You got Denny Larson, William Byron.
30 other guys.
No, but for top 5.
All right, so top 5 best drivers right now: Denny Hamlin, Truex Jr.,
Truex
Tyler
top
Reddick.
5.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
second in points right now.
Hmm.
He won. Like,
I'm just asking.
All right,
So hang on.
I'm going Hamlin, Truex.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Reddick,
I thought you were done with your list.
Byron, Larson, and not necessarily in like those order, but those
You
are
think
my
he's
top 5
better than
guys.
Blaney? You think he's better than
I do.
Logano?
Oh,
I do right now. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's got better equipment right now. I wouldn't say he's better.
I think he's better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you don't think he's overrated then. You're delusional. Wow. I really wouldn't have you think he's better than Bell?
Right now, yeah.
Okay, you mean like as in like since the start of the season?
No, like I would have Bell in 6th. Like, you know, he's right there, but like Tyler Reddick is I think he's super talented. I really do.
Okay.
Like that guy can get his car out of messes. He gets more out of his car than what other guys can get with a good car. Like you give him an okay car, he still has a chance to win. There's not many guys that can do that.
I think what knocks him down so much for me is his inconsistency. Like I find he gets himself in his own messes more than other people do.
You know who else does that? Those Larson.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, which is what I think is a huge detriment to Larson.
Yeah, he's still one of the best 5 in NASCAR.
Yeah, but I also think he's leaps and bounds better than Reddick.
And he's been in a car leaps and bounds longer.
Sure.
So, like,
but you're talking about driver right now, and I would say that leaps and bounds.
And I think, well,
anyway, it is what it is. There's no way to really quantify it, I guess.
So who's your top 5 right now, Evan?
My top 5 right now.
McDowell, Gregson.
Whoever was
good 2 weeks ago. Suarez looked good in Atlanta. We'll pick him.
I think for me, it's really hard to choose between Larson and Hamlin. As much as I'm not heavily invested in either one of them. I think for me right now, 3rd is probably William Byron. Even from a sheer consistency standpoint, I think I would be a toss-up between Truex and Logano for 4th and 5th.
No, I got to give Truex over Logano.
I said I'm toss-up.
I know, but like that's my opinion.
Like I think it's really, really close. I think if Logano had better equipment, like you haven't seen peak Logano as far as like top-notch equipment.
True, but
he's pretty deadly.
We're talking top-notch equipment. Like Penske's back-to-back. Like it's not like they don't. Yeah, but is that because of their equipment, or is that because their drivers aren't driving when they're supposed to.
I mean, if there was other
Logano-
Fords winning, I would say it's the drivers, but like nobody's winning.
Yeah.
And then I would probably put Bell right there. So that would be my 6th.
So I just want to say something. 4 of my top 5 are in the top 5 in the standings right now.
Sure.
So like,
but that's a very small segment.
Which one wasn't?
Chase Elliott's in 3rd. So
yes,
who do we got then?
Yeah, see, I don't even put Chase in my top 5.
You don't put. I don't know. He's right.
It's crazy because there's so much close competition there, right? But
it's tough for sure. But
yeah, it's fun. Like when you start trying to, quantify who is and who isn't better, because we have unlike other sports, it's not just the individual that like either performs or doesn't, right? You've got so many elements outside of them. Like at the end of the day with hockey, you qualify it by what they do when the puck is on their stick, right? Do they turn it over? Do they score? Do they assist? Right? That's kind of how you determine who is and who isn't better. It's a completely different ball game. Literally not a ball game, but it's a completely different, thing when you're looking at NASCAR, because like pits completely out of their control other than getting to the pit and leaving, right? Which is still important, but it's and we saw yesterday how much Larson gained on.
I couldn't believe he gained it was 3 or 4 seconds. And was it when Truex was leading?
I was just glad there wasn't that many sand barrels, because that's what he tried last year with Blaney, right? That's exactly what got him in that position last year. And we also can't qualify like equipment, right? There is a distinct difference in equipment right now, even though it's the closest it's ever been, theoretically. There's a huge difference there. So I didn't foresee us going into that topic, but
I think I got to put Elliott top 5 right now.
Who's your top 5, Corey?
I'd be Denny Larson, William Byron, Truex, and Chase Elliott. Not necessarily in those order.
All right.
But I mean, Denny and Larson's 1 or 2. Like Evan said, it's pretty much toss up at this point.
So let's look at it this way then. We can all agree that JGR and Hendrick drivers all look really good.
100%.
Right?
They're dominating the season right now.
Right. So that leads credibility to what I'm saying, that a lot of it comes down to equipment.
Yeah, that's why I can't put forward there.
You can't say it's just equipment. Like,
I'm not saying
these 2 teams have the best drivers in the sport. Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like Ty Gibbs is in JGR equipment. I don't have him in my top 10.
Right, but we're also talking about a guy who's in his sophomore season, right? Like,
okay, Bubba Wallace. I love the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in great equipment. He's not in the top 10.
No, but I think he's top. Actually, I don't know if I'd put him top 10 drivers.
If you
the list gets small though.
If I did, the list does get small. But like, I think there's guys back in the field that are probably just as talented that have way worse. Like when I read that statistic to you guys last week about that K&M Pro Series where Korey LaJoie won 5 races and all those other guys only won 6 amongst them all, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And like,
but just because you're good somewhere else doesn't mean you're good.
100%.
Show
100%.
And LaJoie is not a top 15 driver. Like I know you like the guy, but like you put him in a Hendrick car, he's not doing anything with it. Like he literally didn't last year
on one race. I agree.
Yeah, but I mean that, you know what I mean? There's the pressure. There's where you need to perform. Here's your shot. Do it, and he didn't. Like, who's a guy that you're saying is mid pack or back of the pack? You put in a Joe Gibbs or a Hendrick car, that's going to do something.
Harrison
Bowman
Burton.
hasn't.
You're gonna hate me.
No, who?
You're gonna hate me, but I honestly think that given a little bit of time, I think I could see a Briscoe.
Oh, 100%. Briscoe, yeah.
But
like,
is he way back in the pack? Like he's top 15, is he not right now?
But like he's running 10th to 15th every week.
Yeah, he's 12th in points.
I think he's exceeding his equipment. To be honest with you,
and he has since day one.
I would say with a little more time, I would put Gregson on that list if he can continue what he's doing.
He can keep these past 2 weeks going.
whatever. I do think he's doing well. I think Jimmy Johnson, I think that guy's running some junk equipment. You put him in some really great stuff. It might be interesting to see what he could do.
I don't think he's ever going to mount to much, bro.
Probably not from here on out, but I think in a different world, at a different time, he could have really been something.
He could have won 7 races, maybe. If he was in better equipment.
Yeah. He never won in the win and you're in situation, did he? Or was his last one? Was 2016 the win and you're in? It must have been.
Think so. I think it was it.
I think it was. Yeah, because
it started back in like 14, didn't it?
Yeah, because 2015 Gordon won at Martinsville in the fall, and he was like, "We're going to Homestead." So yeah, his last one must have been this format. I don't think it had the stage.
So he's won in every format.
Yeah,
that he's raced in.
It's wild. Well, listen, I think we've talked about it last week enough. You guys want to head over into the caution break segment?
I think we could do that.
All right, guys, welcome back to the caution break segment. I would like to introduce a friend of the podcast, as Donnie calls him because he's not a personal friend. Kevyn Stahlbaum, the sole content creator for the YouTube channel Inline 4. If you're into gaming YouTube, check him out. It is Inline 4 Gaming. Has some super cool content. Used to have some people that did that with him.
Used to have cooler guys on there, but
it's now Inline 1 Gaming.
but Korey and I are less committed to just about anything.
Just don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, right. But thanks for joining, Kevin. It's good to have you on, bud.
Yeah, no worries.
How's the wife?
She's good. She's good. I brought her home.
Korey?
How's my
Korey,
wife?
how's the wife?
She's good.
Evan, how's your sister?
She's good. Donnie, how's your cousin that you're married to?
Very best. Just jealous she didn't pick you.
Well, to be fair, if I had been older, maybe.
All right. So, anyways,
250 pounds later.
Anyway, to introduce you a bit about Kevyn. Kevin's not a NASCAR fan. Kevyn is a diehard listener. Kevyn, though, as a supporter of Korey and I,
and Donnie.
Well, now started listening to the podcast last year. I think originally to kind of torment Korey about his lack of knowledge about the sport, but he's been a pretty diehard listener, and over the past few races this season, he's been kind of tuning in. So not only do I want to make sure that we get credit for bringing new fans into the sport, I want to ask Kevyn some questions because sometimes a different perspective is good to have. So again, thanks for being here, and let's jump right in, I guess. We know that you didn't follow NASCAR at all until you started listening to our podcast to support us, but this year you've been paying a bit more attention to what's going on and even been watching some races here and there. What did you like the first couple times that's had you come back and continue watching?
Well, I don't really know the places. So the first race I really watched was the one where they went through like 400 tires per driver, you know.
Bristol.
That was just very interesting to me. And then the next week was kind of like, nah. But then like I was able to watch the whole race yesterday. So that was really, there was enough action to make it interesting, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So yeah.
It wasn't Bristol level, but it was still good enough to keep your attention and keep you engaged.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's fair. To be fair, ever since Bristol, I think everything has kind of paled a little bit in comparison because that was just a
little bit
phenomenal race.
There really wasn't much. I figured there'd be some tire fall off yesterday, but there wasn't much talk of it. Mind you, Fox probably wouldn't care anyways, but
everyone kind of had a consistent level, but
the track was taking a lot of rubber, so
it did. It took a lot of rubber, and I think that's what allowed us to have so many wide grooves there, right? I don't remember the last time I've ever seen guys racing that high of a line at Dover. Which
me neither.
Yeah. I'm shocked. Let's go with this then. As a new viewer, perhaps not even considering yourself a fan per se as of yet, what are some things you've noticed that you think NASCAR does well from an engagement perspective? And then what are maybe some things that put you in a position where you're interested in changing the channel again?
Well, interested in changing the channel would have to be all the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
That is wicked, man. Like that's terrible. Like it's like, oh, well, here's 4 seconds of racing, and then well, here's 4 minutes of
4 minutes
commercials.
of commercial.
You're
So you've
preaching to the
noticed-
choir, man. We
So
hear
you've
you.
noticed, okay.
Yeah, and things they do well. I like how they sometimes like go back and forth with like the radio chatter, and then back like so you can kind of hear like what they're talking about because somebody like me, I have no idea really like what's going on behind the scenes. All I see is the car going fast, and it's kind of good to know like what the racers are kind of seeing from their perspective, like smoke.
Right.
Like I forget which racer it was yesterday, but he was like complaining about the smoke, and he was getting kind of lippy about it, and it was I thought it was kind of funny because
Yeah,
I like
right.
argument.
Ryan Priest, yeah.
Ryan
Right?
Priest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you do
So-
love the drama, don't you?
I do.
Actually, I will say, going forward, NASCAR actually has an app that you can download, and you can listen to any driver's radio.
I did download that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So yeah.
Yeah, it's certain drivers you can't understand quite as clearly as others. Just it seems like there's sometimes like a lot of guys will mumble or whatever, but when they get upset, all of a sudden you can understand pretty clear.
Then there's Alex Bowman who just drops F-bombs the entire time, What a mouth
Actually,
on that fella.
Most of them do. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest. Listening to the radio chatter is not for the faint of heart. Even William Byron, who never used to.
Good thing they say that prayer before the start of the race, though. to keep
Right.
them all-
Yeah.
William Byron's been evil on the mic since he's 13. So
No, that was an email he sent. Okay. What driver's catching your attention, good or bad?
I like Bubba.
Oh,
I know he hasn't been doing. I know, like I've been following like how he's been doing. I work shift work, so I won't be able to watch every race.
yeah.
But I like Bubba. He seems pretty solid. I know Corey likes to make fun of me for that, but
What's crazy is that like you don't think you can watch all the time, but like you eat for a living, and I watch TV all the time when I'm eating.
couldn't tell. So
Never
this will
turn
be
the
my
TV
last
off.
time as a guest.
yeah.
camera
I don't
has
know.
10 pounds and in his case type 2 diabetes.
I am not diabetic.
Debatable.
I've
Have you ever been tested?
diagnosed.
My sugars just get really low sometimes.
No, never
that
low.
would never be the issue. Yeah.
Marilee, go get my pop, please.
Oh no! Between the two of us, I am not the one that.
No,
has
no, no.
your thing.
It's the DoorDash driver brings a pop, not barely.
Listen, you leave Jorge alone. Jorge is a nice man. Let me ask you this one then. Having watched some of the races, you think you'll ever go to one? Any desire to do that? This is not an invitation.
Thanks for the invite, man. No.
Because you just won a trip to Daytona.
Yes.
With Donnie's dad.
Oh.
A good trip, let me tell
Yeah. He seems like a good
Funny.
fella.
you. Yeah.
Seems like you guys had a lot of fun. I'd probably
Oh,
go
man.
to a race if
Really.
it ever came up, but I don't know if the wife would like it very much, but
You mean you don't know if
Please.
she'd like you going, or don't know if she would like the race itself?
probably both.
You can just drop her off at the local garden center and you'd be good for 3 or 4 hours.
Just 3 or 4
Okay, all day.
all day.
That woman's a flower planter, eh?
She's a plow.
What are you trying-
Bro, that's his wife. Like, come on, man. He's a guest on the show.
It's a good thing she doesn't watch the channel because, well,
Wait, you guys don't watch it together?
no.
All right. Well, listen. What do you guys got? Any questions for Kevin? I wrote mine out. I don't see.
I mean, you say you're a Bubba Wallace fan, but you have a Hooters hat on, so you're giving the wrong impression there. You should be a Chase Elliott fan with that hat.
Donnie's a big Chase.
See, I don't know. I don't know their sponsors.
I'm an Alan Cole Wiki guy. That's where my Hooters sponsorship comes from. But All right. Well, listen. Thanks for being here with us, Kev. If you were picking your driver for Kansas, who you got?
I'm just going to throw this out here. Bubba Wallace has won in Kansas before.
Yeah. Do I think he's gonna? Well, I'd say he's gonna come back with something to prove after wrecking the last 2 times. So
100%.
I could either see, like, I know you guys only do one pick, but either like Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson. I'd say they're gonna be kind of dueling it out again, just like yesterday.
So you're picking dark horses. You're picking dark horses, underdogs.
He can pick whoever he wants, so he might as well go right to the top.
Hey, my pick last week.
That's right. Shout out to Kevin for helping me with my pick. I was indecisive. Indecisive.
Next week, I'll give you some English lessons, Corey.
Thanks, buddy.
Listen, his mom did that in school. Okay.
That's right.
A B C B. All right, that's not right.
A B C.
All right. Well, listen. Thanks so much, Kev, for joining us.
That's the last time we ever have that guy on the show.
I will say, if you're into video games and that kind of thing, check out Inline 4 Gaming. Kev does a really great job putting out some really fun content. So check that out, and we'll see you next time, Kev.
All right. Peace.
See you in 15 years, bro.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do a race
gray
together,
hair.
Remember? We're inviting him to a race. We're good. I mean, it's in Petty Kodiak, but... All right. Have a good one, Kev.
All right. See you, bud.
See ya.
We got to do picks.
All right.
All right. Well, that was that.
That was a wild time.
Well, let's plow through picks here.
Well, now we got to keep it. We can't bleep it now. No.
All right, Toto. We're off to Kansas. 1.5-mile track. NASCAR's bread and butter. Denny Hamlin won here last year, so I guess we'll see if he can do it again. And I'm guessing, Corey, you're going to end up with first pick, and that's who you're going to take him. Putting money on.
Why do I get first pick?
All right, let's recap. Corey gets first pick because he took Chase Elliott, who finished the day at 5th, while I picked Ricky Stenhouse, who was in the top 10 for most of the day.
And where did he finish?
He decided he no longer wanted to be on the track and finished in 35th. And Evan picking Corey Heim. Way to ruin the kid's first chance up in the bigs.
Did all right.
Yeah.
Kind of finished where we expected him to. So I mean,
he was only 2 or 3 spots behind Nemechek. So,
yep, 25th.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that puts me and Corey at 5 points. Welcome to the front row, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
And I don't even know where Evan is because he's not a threat, so we don't really pay much attention. Behind. But yeah, so I guess if we go tiebreaker, I'm still in first. But
I hate that rule.
This week shakes out.
Rule.
Well, that's the way it goes, Mr. Exhibition.
Why you need a tiebreaker?
I know, but it could be, average picks. Speaking of average picks, I had just a few minutes So, I don't know. This was mentioned, I don't know, like 5 or 6
I'm so mad and so proud at the same time.
So, coming in at number 3 with a whopping 15.75.
Oh, it's getting bad.
We have Mr. Evan Locke. So, and it's been a close, hard battle the last 4 weeks or so, but coming in, I don't know why I picked this week to put out these stats, but coming in second with a 12.75 average is Mr. Don Johnston.
Man,
Reckless Stenhouse hurt him a lot.
Right.
And then our number 1 guy is Corey, coming in at 11.16 average pick finish. Sorry. So, just wanted to throw that out there. I had, no reason at all, but
yeah,
thank you for taking over the pick segment there.
Yeah, really. Hey, Donnie, I know it's your segment, but I'm going to control it here. Don't mind me.
Korey, every week. Let me read here
I
what
just-
Evan has. Let me see. What did Evan write here? Kid goes on a winning streak and all of a sudden, let me tell you stats. I got 9 pages full.
I just wanted to make sure you were thorough
I just
this
wanted to
week.
be prepared.
Well, I will make sure I have the updated numbers for next week.
All right, sounds good,
Oh,
because I'm probably gonna
Put
be
up
better.
or shut up. Can you make it 5 in a row?
I don't know, man. So,
I mean,
are we good?
good. Yep.
You want me to pick? All right.
First pick.
I'm going with a guy who I believe has circled this race as his race of the year. I'm going with Bubba Wallace.
All right. It's a good pick.
I think this is it. This is do or die for him. So
Oh, I picked second, don't I?
you do.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked too, but somehow.
All right. I think this is the week I use Mr. Denny Hamlin.
I knew it. I knew you were going big. Going for 2 in a row, eh?
Yeah. I think
Right on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right.
I mean, I figured that's why I kind of picked mid range. Had a good shot. So what?
But you got Donnie.
I'm going Kyle Larson.
They're
Whoa.
both going big. I knew it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
At least
All
one of you are gonna lose a top 5
Right.
pick.
Yeah.
I have an outside chance. I love it.
Wow.
Good pick, though. Good pick. I think it's Larson's week.
I
not
think
gonna
that's
lie.
the biggest pick of the year for the three of us across the board. I guess
I mean,
Pagano, Bell, and Truex is close, maybe, but
yeah. All
wow.
right.
I was thinking
Oh.
Larson. I was like, no, I can't use him till after this Indy thing. I don't know. But
I was
I
thinking
don't
I was
know,
going
man.
to take Reddick for the longest time, but
Riddick,
I was gonna take Reddick too,
yeah.
but I
If
don't
you
know.
took Reddick, I probably would just took a backbench. But you taking Denny, I'm like, I gotta have you lose that.
I can't see him doing it 2 weeks in a row. I just can't. But
I don't know, man. We'll find out.
like I said,
excited
Hasn't
about
won
it.
a mile and a half yet.
it's gonna be a wild weekend. I know that.
Yeah. The Sunday is gonna be dramatic. How is this not the race we're all watching together? How is that not the one?
Right?
Right.
Although, to be fair, I think I'll probably lay back on that week that
Okay, I ain't coming then.
no, that week you guys coming, I'll probably like lay up a bit on my pick. Just because,
Wow.
like, if I was to win, it'd be the end of a friendship between
He's
Donnie
picking-
and I. And
He's picking Alex Bowman that weekend.
wow.
I might take Harrison Burton that week and win it then.
Actually, Alex runs pretty good here this week.
Is that the Coke 600? Is that where we're going to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Indy 500 earlier in the day.
That's
I
gonna
was
be
going to save Larson for that, but
that's gonna be a long day.
He can't. There's no way, man. That is a long day for Larson.
right.
Anyways, I
So-
like it. I'm the only guy with Larson yet, so I can use him wherever I want now.
If
This is-
maybe we should make an indie pick in here as well as like an exhibition race type.
Larson.
Pick. You're gonna pick
I just
Larson
picked
for the
him.
Indy?
Well, if it's an expedition, I can pick whoever I want.
Yeah, you
I
can.
want to be honest, I couldn't.
I don't know
name
anybody
that
else, so
member.
I couldn't either, but I mean,
Is there like an Alex Hincliffe?
yeah.
there is a
I feel
hint.
like I
I
remember
don't
him.
think it's Alex.
No.
There's an
Oh,
Alex
okay.
Blue, I think,
Yeah.
and Scott McLaughlin.
From what I hear, they just go back and change results from races weeks behind.
To be
them.
fair, that was a big
that was crazy, eh?
that was a big ordeal.
Ugh.
These so
Took
essentially
the win away, Donnie.
because
Yeah.
I can tell that you're not, you don't know, but
No, I don't have a clue.
Penske won it, and I think they placed third or second.
think
with the other
It was
car,
one or the other. It was
like 2 podium finishers, and come to find out, they have a push to pass button in the IndyCar. Gives you just a little bit more horsepower. It's a limited number of uses, and it can only be used at certain times throughout the race. So I think it's the first 2 laps after a restart, it can't be used. And Penske cars had found a way to bypass that essentially, and they were using it on the restart. And so anyway, so Indy found out and took it away from them.
Like a race that
No,
was a month ago, basically. Like it was
I
a
think it
few
was 6
weeks at
weeks.
least. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was the first race of the
Yeah.
season, and it was like we found out about it
Like,
now.
to me, that's crazy. Like I get if you catch them in the race, do it. But to go back and change results, like you got to realize, like, okay, we got to update our stuff and make sure this doesn't happen. But I mean, teams got to be cheating to try. Like if you're
Yeah.
not cheating, you're not trying.
I will say though, that's like
Cheat this week, Bubba.
I will say that that's like a very aggressive cheat,
Oh, like
yeah,
that's
that's
right?
pretty,
Like that'd be like
yeah.
some
I don't
Stuart
know.
Haas level.
Yeah, yeah, but Stuart Haas always gets caught.
Like for anything. And it's just always like I feel like if Hendrick did something like this, he'd be like, oh, now. You're going to have to do a pass through next week.
no, I don't know, man.
We'll let
Like
Alex Bowman do it so it doesn't
think
affect
about,
your race.
you think about that race where Harvick's window was like bowing in mid race as like the air pressure changed or whatever, and it's like we can see it from the TV. How do you think that's not gonna get caught? You know what I mean? Like, and like the
To be
roof
fair,
rail,
it was Fox.
like are the roof rails that advantageous?
I guess
Like
so.
that everyone's either messing with them or getting penalized for touching them. Like NASCAR's rule is you can't touch it after it go. Like what? Are they that advantageous? Like they're just a straight rail. I thought it's just wild to me that like the little things that SHR has tried, and then like it's like instantly caught, and then not only caught but like you sucked and got caught cheating. At least make it work. At least gain something from it. But anyway,
They need to go 2-team.
yeah. But you know what? Roush did that years back, and it's taken a long time to get competitive again.
All right, well, I'm gonna drive away now. So
It's good because you've been driving me crazy this whole stinking podcast.
it took me half the podcast to realize that my wheel was set up. So if anybody is wondering, it's my
Or he's
iRacing
an
wheel.
iRacer now. Don't listen to the ad anymore. He loves it. He's a diehard, and he's pretty good for a rookie.
It's
I guess
coming.
you're not a rookie anymore.
good.
You're almost C class.
Hey,
Advancing so
Donnie,
fast. He's like
take
the
us
next
outta
Buddy
here.
Byron.
I'm still a father of a toddler, so I won't be iRacing anytime soon.
But just think of the father-son bonding you'll have once he's old.
I'm
enough
still
for you.
married, surprisingly, for while I play it. So
Yeah, I will say he's quickly turned into an addict.
Am I doing the outro? Is that what you guys are looking at me?
let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
I haven't
that-
even looked at
There's only 2 people to look at on each screen. So.
it. So yeah, I guess you picked the most handsome one.
No, I'm just trying to determine how someone could possibly root for 2311. But anyway,
I am this week.
I know.
Right?
Could you imagine?
I'll take
Next
one.
generation Alan Tyler Reddick. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like this is just bad. I'm off the rails tonight. I haven't been in it,
Careful, you'll be penalized.
right?
He's not off the roof rails. Just
So yeah, Kyle Larson's gonna win Kansas. I'm gonna take the lead back in points. I'm gonna have 2 wins on the season, which just makes the tiebreaker that much stronger. And Evan is gonna burn Denny Hamlin.
Honestly,
just
for
because
me-
Denny Hamlin called his shot doesn't mean you get to.
even if I lose this week, it's still a win because I have burnt one of your guys' top 5 picks. So
Right?
Probably Larson.
It's true.
I'm not gonna lose.
Yeah, it's gonna be Denny.
Bubba's gonna
Denny's
win.
gonna finish. Denny's
All
not
right,
even
see you
going to
guys.
finish. DNF. You
All
heard
right,
it
later,
here
guys.
first.
See you next week.